Hi guys, I'm Darren, and in this video we'll be updating to ETHOS version 1.1. Since I made my first videos on updating ETHOS, there have been a couple of changes in the process, and a few people have asked me if I could remake the video to bring it up to date with the current process. Well, a couple of days ago, version 1.1 was finally released as stable, and guess what? The update is slightly different again. I'm going to do a video now showing the new update process for 1.1. Basically, it's very similar. There are just a few files in different places. And then afterwards, we'll have a quick look at 1.1 and have a look at the differences. Right, so the first thing that we're going to do is just have a look on our transmitter at what we're currently using, just because if we've got it working and we're happy, we'll probably want to keep to a similar sort of setup. So we'll go across and have a look on the info page. And I can see on this, I'm running version 1.0.19 and it's the Flex version. So when I download the next one, it's going to be Flex. It also tells us the firmware we're using, so ETHOS on an X20S in this case. One other thing to note is at the end of last month, the internal module firmware was also updated. So if you're planning on using any of the tandem receivers, you need to get that update done. I've got a video on how to update the internal module, so I'll put a link up in that top corner. But we know what we're on now, so what we're going to do is get the transmitter ready for the update. So I will hold down the enter button, press power to get us into bootloader, and then I can just plug the USB in the back. We now have USB plugged on our transmitter, so we don't need to do anything else. What we're going to do is head over to the computer and download the firmware. Right, so you've heard all these bings going on in the background. That's just the USB and flash drives being detected. That's all good. But what we're going to do is head now to a website called GitHub to download the latest firmware. So this is GitHub, and I will put the link in the video description. And what we want to do is click on releases. Now, there were a few issues when the alpha and beta versions of 1.1 were out, and a few people seem to have updated to it sort of not knowing that they shouldn't have done. So while I'm here, I will give you a brief overview of GitHub and which versions to download. Now, I believe as far as ETHOS has gone, the pre-releases aren't put on here anymore, but the thing you need to sort of understand and appreciate about GitHub, it is a development platform. So, for example, if you look at iNav or other firmwares, you will see pre-releases. Now, unless you're doing testing, you should not download pre-releases. So if you see this pre-release, just skip it and go down to the next version. So you can see here, there is the latest version. Back to the ETHOS GitHub, and we can see the top one is actually the latest version. So that is all good. So it gives you an overview of what's changed. We then get the assets, which is where we need to download things. In the previous video, I did go over the fact that sometimes these files don't change, so you need to go to the earlier version. Now, I would say limit that to the same major and minor version. So for example, this is 1.1.0. So I would not go any lower than this for SD cards. If there was a 1.1.1, which for example didn't have the audio files, then of course use the audio files from 1.1.0, but I wouldn't go to 1.0 point whatever. With this middle number changing, that's a minor release. This number on the end is a major release. So the end release is for bug fixes, that sort of thing. So if that number changes, then the same branch is fine. So what we're going to do is download what we need for our transmitter. Now, some of this is the same, so I can go to X20S in my case, and I'm going to download the Flex firmware. Of course, if you've got a different one, so I think this is Israeli, your FCC EU, you've got the X20 transmitter, you have the X10s, the X12s. So depending on your transmitter is which firmware you download. That's not really changed from the last video at all. That's still the same. What did change was originally there was an X20, X20S, Flash and SD. They're now called tandem.sd and tandem.flash, which is much easier to remember. I'm going to download both of those because I'm using a tandem transmitter. So X20, X20S is tandem, and of course the X10 and X12 are Horus. So we'll download our tandem. So they're all just saving on my desktop. We'll go to those in a minute. Now, this is the next thing that has changed. The audio files are no longer included in the SD file. And that's because the audio is the same on all platforms, but also why download all these other languages if you're not going to use them? So all you need to do now is select the language that you want to use and download that zip file. It's less downloaded, there's less copying to the SD card, so it's a win-win situation. But as far as on GitHub goes, that's all you need to download. There is this luadoc.zip file. This is purely for information. If you wanted to learn about the Lua script side, you can download that and read that documentation. And there's also the simulators have been put on there. So that is the latest simulators. So you can actually just play with ETHOS on your computer screen. Right, so these are all downloaded. Let's take a look on the desktop. Right, so here we have our files, and what I'm going to do now is open Windows Explorer. So I'm going to click this icon down the bottom. You can hold down the Windows key and press E, or you'd need to use Finder or on a Mac or another sort of file explorer type application if you're using Linux. And what we'll get is we have our drives. So I've renamed mine just to make it easier. So X20S SD is the SD card inside, and X20S is actually a flash drive. So if you wanted to rename them, you just right click on them and you can click on rename, and that will allow you to type in. So I'm going to just press escape because I don't want to change the name. If you just get the two USB drives come up, all you need to do is right click, go to properties, and then have a look at capacity. If it's the flash drive, it's only about, well, it's just under 8 megabytes. And if it's the SD card, it will be larger. I've actually changed the SD card on mine. So mine is a 32 gigabyte SD card, but the original I think was 4 or 8 gigabytes. I think it was 4 gigabytes. So you'll get that sort of size. The flash drive is about 8 megabytes. That's the main one to remember. The larger one is the SD card. And you'll see different content. So on the flash drive, you'll only really have a bitmaps folder. And on the SD card, you'll have your audio bitmaps, models, and radio.bin. Screenshots will get created if you make screenshots. Firmware is a folder I've created, which I store all the transmitter and receiver firmware on. Right, so let's get on with this update process. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the flash drive, and I'm going to find the flash folder. So I'm just going to open that, and you can see all it is the bitmaps. So what I'm actually going to do is just delete this completely and copy the new one across. Usually you can just copy the new one across and replace existing files, but I figured where this is a minor version increase, there could be old files that are no longer used, so I'll start with a clean slate. So deleting the old folder will remove any unused files. So that's why I'm doing it at this stage. But if you're doing maybe a 1.1.1, just copy the bitmaps across, and if you get a box saying overwrite existing files, just choose yes, and that will do just fine. Okay, so the bitmaps have copied across, so that is the flash drive finished with. So now we'll go over to the SD card. The first thing that I'm going to do is actually make a backup of what I've already got. So you might notice this ETHOS backups folder now on my desktop. If I open that, you can see I've got different versions in here. I'm going to create a 1.0.19 folder just so that I can copy my models into it. So what I'm going to copy is this models and radio.bin folders, and just put those in. Now I can go back to 1.0.19 if I need to. Right, so next let's open up the SD zip file, and then we'll copy those files across. Now we have this new folder called scripts, which will be where you put your Lua scripts. And then we have bitmaps. Now I actually don't just copy this across. GPS I can copy across. I think that's basically the same anyway. But in user, there are just the demo aeroplane graphics files, so I don't use those, so I'm not going to bother copying those at all. Right, the next folder is going to be our audio folder. So if we go into audio, what you'll see I have here are a load of audio files. These are all my custom sound files. So if you create your own custom sound files, they just go in the audio folder. If you want to know how to create yours, I'll put a link in the top corner. But what we need to do is update the EN language file in my case. So what you probably will have if you've just copied stuff across before is about 8 folders with different languages in. You could actually delete all of those except for the one that you actually use. Or if you're multilingual, you could obviously keep the language packs that you want to use. So again, I'm going to open that. You can see there's just the EN folder in there. So I'm going to copy this into audio, and this one will probably take a while. So again, we'll be back shortly. Right, so if you get this box coming up asking you to replace files, just choose yes. It's the easiest thing. All right, so our audio files are copied across. We can close this down. And we're basically at the stage where we're done copying things. We can now actually get the firmware update done. So I'm going to open this final zip file, the X20S Flex in my case. Obviously, depending on which transmitter and which version you want to use, it will be whatever that is. And just copy the firmware.bin file into the root of the SD card. We can close the zip file, it will carry on anyway. And once this is done, we'll be back over at the transmitter. Right, so everything is copied across. The next thing to do is unplug the USB cable. And this is where our new firmware is written to the transmitter. Again, this process can take a little while, so it's worth making sure that you have enough battery in the transmitter that it's not going to die during this process. Fully charged would be the best situation. You know you'll be absolutely fine then. Right, so our firmware has copied across and we're back to bootloader. So all we need to do is press the power button to turn it off. I'm actually going to raise the sound up just so that we can hear the first sound files, just to make sure that that's all working fine. And then I'm going to hold the button in to power it on.
Welcome to Ethos.
There we go.
Switch warning. Failsafe not set.
So our sounds are absolutely fine and we're all good. Right, so let's have a quick look at some of the differences. Now, I believe to get into bootloader, that is still the same. So just hold down the enter button and press power. So yeah, that's the same. But you do get more options with the USB once you're on the main screen here. So if I plug the USB in, we actually get the option now to use as a USB drive or as a joystick. What we'll do is while we're here, we'll jump back on the computer and see what it actually gives us. All right, so I've just put up Windows Explorer and we don't actually have any USB drives showing up. So I don't know what the whole serial thing is for. Maybe it's for something in the future, or maybe it's just got a bug, which is why it's not working. But yeah, I definitely do not have any X20S drives showing up on my computer just by plugging it in and using it as a serial link. So let's take a look at what some of the new things are. So we have Lua scripts, which is sort of the major thing of this version and something that people have been after for quite a while. So I'm not going to have a look at the Lua scripts in this video, but what we can do is have a look at some of the basic changes that may make using Ethos different to how you're used to. Right, so the first thing is a new model select screen. So, oh, this looks much nicer. We have more models on screen, easier to browse through and select. You can see I've got duplicates. That's just the way, because of the naming system. And we have folders at the top and a plus button. So is that for a new model or a new folder? So that's for a new folder. And I believe the way you can add folders is just by creating folders on the SD card. So we'll have a look at that in a sec. So to create a new model is the plus button down at the bottom. What would have been nice is, I think, if there was one at the first entry rather than at the last, because when you go to this screen, you always sort of start here, I believe. Let's select a plane further down. So we'll set current model. And let's go back to that model select screen. Yeah, so it would have been nice if the plus was the first entry and not the last entry. So maybe I'll stick that on GitHub. But what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at categories. Obviously, we could do it in here. So let's create a folder, and I'm going to call this one demo. Sorry, this is quite tricky using this keyboard with the screen at a funny angle. Right, so we have our demo category. So what I should be able to do is move the plane. So let's click on that one, change folder and put it in demo. So yeah, that's nice and simple. But as I mentioned, what we should be able to do is do this in Windows in File Explorer, which will be a lot quicker, I think, than using the interface. So what I'm going to do is power off the radio. I'm going to unplug the USB, go to bootloader because that seems to be the only way the drives show up at the minute. And then we'll head over to the computer. Right, so let's just load up Windows Explorer again. And yeah, you can see straight away our drives have appeared through bootloader mode. So if I go into models, there should be a demo folder, which is exactly what we're after. Brilliant. So let me make a couple of new folders. So let me just drag stuff about. Right, so let's take a look on the transmitter. All right, so unplug our USB and then go back in and see what's happened. So let's go to our model select screen, and yet we have all these nice categories up here. Of course, in uncategorized, I do have quite a few planes. You saw I had duplicates. So if we look in demo, we have our demo plane, EDF, we have the Viper, FPV, we have some FPV planes, gliders, INAV fixed wing group, and regular planes. So yeah, that's all working really nicely. That's nice and simple. Right, we can actually configure the main color of the screen now. So we have a display section in general now, so the brightness is in there. It seems like they've combined a lot of the sections into a general area. To be honest, I didn't mind all the buttons, especially the brightness. It made it quick and easy to change it, as I have to sort of lower the brightness for videos, but when I'm outside I want to have it nice and bright. But yeah, you can actually change the color to whatever you like. So let's try that sky blue color. And we can see already on the sleep mode brightness, it's changed. So yeah, you can change the color. Audio, again, all these settings are in here now. The audio for the Vario and the RSSI and voltage settings for the top of the screen. That's quite nice. Yeah, it's quite cool. But I think I'm going to leave the video there. There are a couple of extra things, mainly to do with warnings and sound. The trim step maximum has been increased, which is quite handy. Trainer channels can be individually switched instead of just having the master trainer on and off. So there's a few little extras in there. But as far as basics go and just sort of day-to-day usage, that's probably all you need to really worry about. The main thing that's different is obviously the Lua scripts, which I would imagine you would access on this page here. I imagine there'll now be a full screen, and then you can add your Lua scripts if you have them. I've not actually got any Lua scripts or anything set up, so I'm not going to show that at the moment, but that's the major change for this radio. And also, if you've got a tandem, the SD card should be faster now. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you do have any questions, please leave a comment. And of course, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to help get this video out to more people so they can learn how to do this too. Thank you guys for watching. Fly your models like you stole them, and have a great time.